What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/FatPeopleStories. Alright, this story's called Cousin Carney Part 6, Choosy Beggar Edition. This is sort of your run-of-the-mill fat lazy person story, but it's the holidays, so I thought I'd throw in a holiday bonus edition to those who find Carney an interesting train wreck. In our community, every year in December, there is a giving back to the community program in town where anyone who wants to, not just those in need, can show up for a free festive meal while local choirs and bands sing and perform. It's kind of fun, and we always go, run into people we know, sit around and laugh and chat and eat and be merry. Knowing how Carney and her husband were always financially struggling and their favorite pastime is eating, I thought for sure they would appreciate it more than anyone, since the alternative is spending $10 or more per person on fast food for dinner. Yeah, I know, how silly of me to think that. The group that puts it on has a lot of volunteers and have their system down to a science, getting people seated and served and cleaned up after very quickly. In my experience, having gone several times over the years, people are coming and going throughout the evening, so there are always seats and parking spots opening up. You may wait a few minutes to be seated, but as soon as you sit down, someone rushes up and brings you a plate and dessert. Everyone gets the same Christmas dinner plate and offers you something to drink. If you only want to eat and get out, it's still faster than most restaurants, since you don't have to order, you don't have to pay, and you don't have to wait for them to put your order together. And if you're still hungry and want a second plate, they'll give you one. Because of the job she worked, she often had a non-traditional work schedule. So the first year or two I told her about it, she had to work and couldn't make it. But the next time I found out she and Harry both had that night off. So I broke house rule number 1 and invited her. I said, go to the community center, get your free meal. We'll probably go after work, so maybe about 6:30 or 7 p.m. Maybe we'll see you there. She had some reservations about it.
Well, what kind of food are they serving? I only like certain things.
What's not to like? It's probably turkey or ham and mashed potatoes, dressing and cranberry sauce. Don't worry, it's stuff you like.
What do they have to drink? Because I don't like wine. It makes me sick.
No, they're not giving away free alcohol. That would lead to problems.
But what do they give you to drink? I don't like water. It's boring. I don't drink iced tea either.
They'll have soda. Probably generic brand, but at least it's soda.
Oh, okay. I don't mind the generic sodas. That's what I usually buy.
Good. So it sounds like she's going. I said I'll probably see her there. It was made clear I wasn't picking her up. I had to give her directions to where it was, since she hardly ever crosses to this side of the railroad tracks and doesn't seem to know where anything is. I didn't hear from her all that day, but when I got to the community center, I texted her to see if she was there so I could find her in the crowd.
No, we drove down there, but it was a waste of gas.
What? Why?
Well, we got there and there was no parking spots, and then we saw there was a line of people, and you know we can't wait in line. We have
whatever health conditions.
So we left.
What? Are you sure you went to the community center? Were you maybe at the wrong place? There's plenty of parking. It goes around to the left and behind the building. We just got here and we didn't have any trouble finding a spot. We didn't have to wait in any line. They seated us almost immediately and our food is already here.
Well, it was long when we were there.
What time did you go?
You said it started at 5, so that's when we went.
In her defense, I suppose if you showed up right when the doors were supposed to open, there might have been a line. So she might not have been lying about the long line at the time. But since all the tables were empty at the beginning, I can't imagine it took long to get seated once the doors opened. I suppose it was busy then, but why didn't you wait? I told you we'd go after 6. We could have met you.
We had to go early because we were hungry. I mean, I guess we did see a few parking spaces, but they were far from the building and we didn't want to have to walk that far. Besides, I told you we were hungry and didn't have time to wait.
Yes, Carney. I'm sure you would have starved to death if you didn't eat right at 5 p.m. p.m. I roll. This wasn't about either of them having to get to work or other activity. That's why they were in such a rush and had to go early. They just have no impulse control and constantly need gratification. Didn't I just say something like that in a previous episode? Wow. Predictably, they left and went straight to whatever the nearest fast food chain was and spent whatever money was in their pocket for dinner and weren't even going to consider coming back for some free food. Not because they couldn't eat anymore, but because they were mad now and didn't want to waste the gas. This was the sort of thing that would always drive me crazy about her.
Oh, we're so broke. We don't have money for anything.
Yet then, you'd say, here's a free meal. And she'd turn into a choosy beggar. Well, only if it's certain foods. And only if I can park right next to the handicapped parking. And only if I don't have to stand in a line and I get served first before anyone else because I'm hungrier than they are. Mostly this left me wondering. If she was starving and having to eat her dinner at 5 p.m., what was she doing at 9 p.m.? Going out for a second dinner because she was hungry again? Wow. You know what? I honestly thought she'd have made it to the door and complained about the quantity of food she was given. But no, she surprised me. She didn't even want to wait in line. That's insane. Wow. But you know what? I love Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner, so I will eat anyone's. I will lick your plate clean. I will essentially replace your dog in that regard. No, not you, Shane Dawson. Stay away. Alright, this story's called My New Eating Disorder Therapist is a Health at Every Size Fat Ass. Help! Hey guys, this is this is my first time posting in this subreddit, so if this post is inappropriate, please remove. I just don't know where else to go with this. So 6 years ago, at the age of 19, I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy, right, and lost 157 pounds. Yeah, damn. 3 years ago, I lost a lot of family members and ate to cope with my feelings, resulting in me regaining about 40 of those pounds. In the past, I would have purged via vomiting and laxatives to keep my weight down, but since I'm now a vocalist in a classical music program, I value my voice and my health more than ever, so instead of binging and purging to maintain my weight, I binged, didn't purge, and gained. Fast forward to 2020 and getting some therapy and consistently attending, Overeaters Anonymous, right? I'm sorry if that's wrong. I've stopped binging, made peace with food, and have started to lose the weight again in a sustainable and healthy way. This is honestly the best I felt mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually in 3 years since losing 5 family members and close friends within the span of 5 months back in 2017. One thing among many that I'm grateful for with having weight loss surgery is that it taught me how to lose weight. It may seem contradictory, but it taught me that I can lose the weight on my own. I've learned all about calories, macro and micronutrients, and the law of thermodynamics. I'm even taking a nutrition course and considering minoring in nutrition. Now, herein lies the problem. I'm so grateful for my sleeve and having had vertical sleeve gastrectomy at an early age. I had a quick recovery, no hair loss, no infection, etc. I reversed my insulin resistance, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, irregular periods, my joints felt better, I just felt better overall. The only downside is that I have persistent heartburn, acid reflux that affects, think A as an action, because it's a verb. Affects is the verb, effects is the noun. Anyway, acid reflux that affects my daily functions, and even makes it hard to sleep at night. It's somewhat controllable with medication, but even with meds, it's still bad. I've tried 3 different medications with no relief. My bariatric surgeon says that having revision from vertical sleeve gastrectomy to gastric bypass will help to alleviate my acid reflux, maybe even completely eliminating it altogether, while also helping me to get back down to my goal goal weight. I had a friend who recently had a revision, and her acid reflux is gone, and she is no longer on her acid reflux medication. I've done all of the paperwork, my general practitioner submitted an endorsement letter, as well as my psychologist and psychiatric nurse. My surgeon is on board to do my revision, but there's one caveat: insurance. Considering that I have a history of bulimia, my insurance won't cover my surgery unless I get treatment from an eating disorder specialist and have a letter of endorsement from a therapist who specializes in eating disorders. So I decided to look into eating disorder treatment from one of the only places in my city that offers affordable care. Affordable as in not affordable whatsoever. I had my first appointment with my therapist this Friday over Zoom, and wow, she is Lindo Bacon, Sonali Rashwatar, what? Reagan Chastain, Shira Rose, Virgie Tovar, and Fat Girl Flo all rolled into one. She is pro-health at every size, intuitive eating, and anti-weight loss. And I don't know if she'll endorse me to have a gastric bypass revision or try to sabotage me and tell my insurance that I'm not mentally stable enough for, WLS, weight loss surgery. There we go. What should I do? Should I try and counter her pro-obesity arguments with my factual scientific information? Or should I grin and bear it and pretend to go along with everything she says in the hopes that she'll write a letter of endorsement for me? I feel so dejected. I want this revision more than anything. I feel like this revision is my once-in-a-lifetime second chance at living the life that I've always wanted. It would be a great boost in helping me get down to my goal weight. I don't want to be dealing with obesity for the rest of my life. I want to tackle this beast once and for all and leave it behind. The difference between me at 19 versus me now at 25 is that as a teenager, I did it purely for vanity. Now in my mid-20s, I don't want any of the diseases that come with obesity. I know that the surgery will fix my body and not my mind, which is why I have an Obesity Anonymous sponsor, maybe. I found hobbies to counteract my overeating, and I've learned to face my emotions and problems head on, rather than with food. In the past year and a half, I've undergone an incredible emotional healing so that I don't have to emotionally eat. Regaining weight taught me a valuable lesson. This time, I know how and why I gained the weight, and now I know how to not do it again. If I don't get the revision, I won't give up on my health. I'll do whatever I need to do, within health and reason, to get back to my goal weight. I'm not just gonna give up and keep gaining. I've come too far and learned too much to get back to 314 pounds at 5'3", but I also don't want to be dealing with persistent heartburn for the rest of my life either. So I need advice. How should I deal with my pro-obesity eating disorder therapist? And if you all could link some credible scientific sources and articles countering fat asses and fat logic, please do so. Thanks in advance. Okay, so my problemo is why this woman is a therapist. Why is she like why does she have credentials to be a therapist to begin with? Like, that's kind of concerning. Then again, maybe she should give her a chance, because there's definitely some ethical problems going on there if literally you guys see what I'm saying, right? Alright, this story's called Fat Lady Bullies Herself Out of the Gym. There was an older 50s maybe overweight lady who would always be in the gym at the same time the early morning weight training class was going on at 5 a.m. She would walk on the treadmill and do some random stretches. Honestly, it seemed like she was just trying to get the trainer's attention because her exercises all involved her spreading her legs wide open while lying on her back or sticking her butt in the air. She'd also put her mat very close to the weight class and get in people's way, but for the most part, everyone ignored her, including the trainer. Over 10 months, I never saw her make any progress, but I was proud of her for at least being active every morning. One morning, morning, we were doing timed sets, and I accidentally missed one. There were like 9 sets, so it's easy to do and happens all the time, especially on the first rep. The trainer put me back on track, a 1-minute plank, and that should have been that. But for some reason, that lady who had her mat directly across from the mat we were supposed to plank on started laughing hysterically. She laughed like she'd never seen anything funnier than someone accidentally skipping a set at 5:15 in the morning. It kinda pissed me off, causing me to summon some Saiyan strength from God knows where. I had never done a solid 1-minute plank. 40 seconds was my max then. But not only did I do the full minute, I maintained eye contact with her the entire time with a blank expression on my face and never even trembled. After the 1-minute plank, I moved on to the air runner. I saw her try and do a plank, but she was unable to maintain it for even 5 seconds. She then tried to play it off like she was doing push-ups, but couldn't even do one unmodified push-up. She switched to modified push-ups, did 2, then picked up her mat and called it a day. What a bizarre encounter, I thought. Then a few weeks later, I started bringing my son, 11, to the gym to walk on the treadmill while I had my class. He's working on his personal fitness merit badge and that Hadrian's Wall challenge. I got him a gym membership and everything. He did the first week on the air runner, then after showing he had the endurance to use the treadmill safely, switched to the treadmill with the safety clip attached to his shirt. I've seen some scary videos of gym accidents, so I'm a stickler for safety. A couple of days later, I see him sitting even though our session was only halfway over. As soon as I had a break, I asked him why he wasn't on the treadmill. He said he was told he couldn't be on the treadmill. I took him back to the treadmill area, saying loudly, "Now listen here, son. Make sure you have that safety clip on," thinking someone had been concerned for his safety.
I had it on, but the lady said I wasn't allowed to use the treadmill,
he said. Of course, you can guess who was on the treadmills and told him this. I just rolled my eyes and said loudly, to be heard over the deafening raver beat we vibe to in the gym, "Son, you are a paying member of this gym. The only person who can tell you what equipment you're not allowed to use is me and the trainer. Everyone else can step off." My son got back on the treadmill and the lady immediately left the gym. The strangest and saddest thing is, she quit coming entirely after that day. The trainer actually seemed relieved. No one clapped, but this month my son's gym membership was reduced from $20 a month to $10 a month, which made me think of the encounter. By the way, he's 49% done with Hadrian's Wall. I don't even know what that is, but good for him. I'm so proud. That woman was definitely strange, and, well, if she was just trying to attract the trainer, well, at least she was dedicated somewhat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.